Welcome to the Towson University College of Fine Arts and Communications What's Your Story podcast. In today's story, Professor Matthew Bainbridge from the Department of Electronic Media and Film tells us about a dramatic turning point in his life that might surprise you.
Most people, when they tell a story about a dramatic turning point in their life, it involves something that happened to them or that they did. Mine does not. Mine was something I bore witness to from a distance and more of an observation I made about someone else's tragedy. In 1995, I moved to Baltimore straight out of college, and I ended up working in television. But I wasn't making enough money, so I supplemented my income by working in children's theater. And that was a great way to introduce myself to the city because I'm hanging out with weird artists and going to strange places and becoming acquainted with parts of the city that only locals knew about and having a really good time in my 20s. At a wrap party for one of our shows, I was introduced to this actor. We got to talking, and he was telling me about how he was singing in the chorus of a production of Jesus Christ Superstar in Toronto, and they were on break, and he was back. I had a great time with him, and we had a few drinks, and a couple hours passed, and I forgot about it. Flash forward about 6 months, I'm working on another show, when I turned to a friend of mine who introduced me to this gentleman, and I said, do you know whatever happened to that actor, the guy who was in Jesus Christ Superstar? And he goes, oh my God, you didn't hear? I go, no, why would I hear? He goes, he was insane. I said, what do you mean? He goes, none of it was real. I said, he wasn't in Jesus Christ Superstar? He goes, nothing was real. He was schizophrenic. He's totally insane. I said, what? They said, well, basically for the last 6 months, he had written a 3-act play. And I said, what kind of play? He goes, a dark comedy, a 3-act play. And he cast it with a cast of roughly 20 people, all of whom were rehearsing in this gentleman's apartment for 4 months with the expectation that this play was going to open. I said, that's interesting. And he goes, the thing was, nothing was real. He made flyers for the show, but there was no place, and the whole thing fell apart about a week before the show was about to happen. I said, oh my God. And he goes, so everybody else was like amazed by the power of schizophrenia, or they felt bad for these 20 actors who were laying their soul out to be in the show that wasn't going to happen. But that wasn't what I got away from it. What I was amazed by was the power of force of will. This guy almost manufactured his dream simply by having enthusiasm for it, by simply just willing it to happen. I wrote a play, therefore a play will happen, and people went along with it. The only thing that stopped him was that he was insane. I realized that if I knew what I was doing, if I understood how to make something, but could manage that same level of enthusiasm, that I could make anything happen, that enthusiasm trumped even talent and money. Will was everything. You have to have enough faith to see it through.